In this video, I'm going to show you how to create social media posts for your blogs on autopilot. The moment you press publish on a blog on your website, social media posts will be created by our AI agents and populated to a Google Sheet ready for you to review. Once you're happy with the posts, you can just mark them as approved in the spreadsheet and we'll send those posts over to Buffer, our social media scheduling tool, ready to be published onto our social media platforms. Let's dive in. If you're interested in this automation and grabbing hold of the unbelievable opportunity that exists today for AI automators, then I recommend you check out my school community where you can download this blueprint, many more, and be up and running in a matter of minutes. It's this simple. Navigate to the blueprint you want to download in the school community. Go over to make.com and select import blueprint and you're ready to go. In the school community, we also have automation learning materials and access to a full calendar of events, including masterclasses, Q&As, co-working sessions, and live streams. When it comes to AI automation, if you want to up your game, then this community is for you. Head over to school.com/AI-automations to get started. Now back to the video. So we need to create two automations. The first will be to create the social media posts. The second will be to watch our Google Sheet for any posts that are approved, so that we can then go ahead and publish them onto Buffer, ready to be scheduled out onto our social media platforms. So the first one we're going to create is the creation of the social media posts. So we'll name this Create Social Media Posts. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to look in WordPress and we need to watch for when any new posts are published. And ideally, in an ideal world, we can just go ahead and say posts and watch for when they're published, and this will just sit there like a webhook, essentially waiting for any posts that are published, and when they are, this automation will run. However, I found this module not to be particularly reliable. So that's as of the 9th of September 2024. Hopefully in the future you can just go ahead and use this and it'll all be fine, but as I say, it's unreliable. It doesn't always fire when new posts are published. So I've got a workaround for this, and essentially I use a plugin within WordPress. It's called Uncanny Automator, and Uncanny Automator essentially allows us to watch for posts that are published, and then we can send data to Make, essentially to a webhook. So what we're going to go ahead and do first of all is I'm going to go ahead and create a webhook here so that we can use Uncanny Automator to send data to that webhook. So the new webhook here is going to be called Create Social Posts School. I'll do. Save. Okay, so this is the address that we're going to use. So I can go into Uncanny Automator now. So this is one that I've already got created, which does exactly the same thing. So it's run 1,000 times, and basically they call them these automations kind of recipes. So if I click Add New here, so I ask you to select a recipe type. It doesn't actually matter in our case which one we use, so we'll just go for everyone. And then we'll do post. We'll name this one post published. This is going to be the demo one, so we'll put school in there. Which needs to go to, the trigger is going to be in WordPress, and then a post is published, and then the post type is just posts. We don't care about any pages or anything else being published, just posts. So click Save there, and that's our trigger complete. And then we add our action, which is to go to Make, send data to a webhook. So this plugin's free for doing what we want to do, and then we paste in our webhook that we got from our automation inside Make. Okay, and in the body here we just need to specify what we're going to pass to the webhook. So we're going to pass just the post ID. That's all we need. Taking the value here, like this, post ID. I'll save that. Okay, so now we just need to make this live. So we just go ahead and click this switch here. We've moved from draft mode to live, and our recipe is published. So now we can go ahead and publish a post. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and make a copy of this one because this one's already published. publish this post. Let me just make sure we've got our scenario running. We haven't. So let's run that. We'll go and publish that post. And there you go. In our scenario, we've now got the post ID passed to webhook. So what we can do now is we can go and use the WordPress module to go and get that post. Go to posts and then get the post ID from there. And essentially what we're doing here is we're going to get the post information, we're going to get all of the content of the post, and we're going to send that to our AI agents that are going to write the social media post. So they need to know what the context of the post, what the story is about for them to be able to write the social media post. So we're going to go and grab that post that's been published, and then we're going to send them off to the AI agents. So the next step is we need to go and get the content of that article from the WordPress page. So we use HTTP get a file module. And here we just specify the URL of the article that we're going to get. So this will be the link here, this one. So click OK. Let's just run that through, check everything's working as we'd expect. Go ahead and we'll duplicate one of these posts. Copy this one. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and publish this one. Scenario runs. Does so we see we go to the data here. We can see we've got all of the article data here. So what we need to do is we need to strip out all of this HTML and JavaScript from the page. If you've watched my videos before, you might know that this is a two-step process that I use for this. So the first one is to just grab out the main body content of the page. So essentially I use this regular expression, which essentially is saying just remove everything above the H1 tag, so the header, the title of the article, and remove anything below the footer tag in the article. So this is just saying just give me the main body, the main content of the article. So that removes, you know, a lot of the JavaScript and things at the top of the page that we just don't want to get rid of. So if I take a look here, I can show you again. In here we've got all of this junk and stuff here that we just don't want to send to ChatGPT because it's just too much erroneous information. We just want to clean it up before we send it over to ChatGPT. So I'm just going to go in here and say the text that we want to pass to that is the data. Okay, the next step is we want to use the HTML to text module, and this will remove all of the remaining HTML. So this step will remove everything from the top and the bottom of the article, and this removes the stuff in the middle. The reason I don't just go use the HTML to text module is to find that it doesn't always get rid of everything, all of the JavaScript and all the bits and pieces that can appear above the header. So I do this step first, and then I do the second step just to get rid of all of the rest of the HTML. So again, let's just run that through, make sure that is working as we'd expect. So again, we'll make another copy of this article. Okay, let's publish this one. Okay, so take a look at this one. We can see that all of the code that was above the title is removed. So we just got straight into it here. So this is the title of the article. And then you can see though that there's a whole bunch of HTML in here still that we need to get rid of. So that's what this module does. So you can see that's got rid of a whole bunch of the HTML. We just got on the main contents of the article now that we're ready to send over to ChatGPT. So the next step is that we're going to add a row into our Google Sheet. I'm going to start populating some of the data in there. Now I've chosen in this automation to populate the data as it's created and as it comes in. You could just put all of the data into the spreadsheet at the end of the automation, and that will save on operations, of course, but you know, I prefer just from a debugging point of view, and I quite like to see all the data coming in as it's ready and available. And also, you know, if I'm looking to approve some articles that I've just published, it's quite nice to be able to see that data coming in step by step that I can kind of review as the rest is loading in. So if I go to Google Sheets, add a row here, I just need to locate the spreadsheet that we're going to be using, which is this one here, where I'm going to start populating some of the data and the social media posts. So if I go back to our automation, there we go. So I just need to select the sheet. The table does contain headers, so we've got a row at the top, which is all of the headers here. So we just need to say, yep. And what this module then does, it goes and looks at those headers and grabs all of the text that's in those headers out. So it makes it easy for us to start populating the spreadsheet. So what we're going to do is, first of all, is we're going to go and get the post ID and put that into the spreadsheet. And the reason we need this is that we can associate the social media post that we're creating with the blog post that's been published. So, and in here we're going to have the article URL, which will be the link here, and then article title, which will be the title here. So I go OK. Let's just go ahead and check that that's running okay as well, and that our sheet is getting populated. Okay, so the row should have been added into our sheet, which it has. So we've got the URL there of the article, the title of the article. If we scroll all the way to the end here, we've got the post ID as well. So that's all been populated in. So now we just need to go in and add in the LinkedIn post, the X post, the Facebook post, and the Instagram post. So the next step we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and add a router in here. So there's absolutely no technical reason why we would want to add a router in here. Generally, when you add a router, you will set up filters. So the automation will follow different paths based on that filter. This is purely to make it more easy to read from a human being's perspective. So you could ignore using this router and you could just carry on creating this automation in one long line. And that's fine, that'll save you some operations. But for me, from just viewing this automation from a human perspective, and you'll see as this unfolds, for me it just makes more sense to use a router here, just so that we can affect the layout somewhat. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and create a LinkedIn post. So we're going to use ChatGPT for that. But instead of creating a track completion or a prompt, which we've done in previous videos in this series, we're going to message an assistant. So there's a couple of reasons why we're going to message an assistant rather than create a completion or prompt. First reason is that we want to send a lot of data to ChatGPT. So we have trained our agent on a lot of data, including a whole bunch of examples. That is just too much to put into a prompt. There's only so big a prompt can be, and we just want more than that. So that's one reason why we're going to use an AI agent instead of just a prompt, standard prompt. The second reason is that creating AI agents is a good way for us to be able to reuse them time and time again. So if I want to create a LinkedIn agent and I want to use that again in another automation, I don't have to go and copy and paste the prompt out between all of our automations. The agent's there and available and ready to use. So we can go ahead and select the agent. So I've customized one here specifically for the Crypto Eagle website. So this is our LinkedIn agent here. So in here we need to put the message, and the message is simply create a LinkedIn post for this article. So we can just go ahead and put in the text of the article, which is in here, and that's all good. So if we're just going to ChatGPT and look at our assistants, I'll show you an example here. So I've got agents for LinkedIn, X, Facebook and Instagram, and essentially here we provide all of the instructions for how we want the LinkedIn post to be structured. So I've got a whole bunch of different examples here that I consider to be good examples within the crypto space. These agents have been trained specifically for different social media platforms. So we've got one for X, Facebook and Instagram, and we're going to use these to create the posts for our Crypto Eagle website. So the next thing we want to do is update our spreadsheet with the LinkedIn post that we've created. So we can just do update a row here. Again, we need to select the spreadsheet that we're going to update. Okay, sheet 1. And the row number that we're going to update is specified in here. So where we added a row. So this is the row number here. And literally we're just going to go in and update the LinkedIn post with the result from our LinkedIn assistant. So we just go there, and that's it. That's all we need to update for now. So we can just go ahead and check that that works. So again, let's run. Go ahead and make a copy of this post. Okay, let's publish that. Go to our automation. Okay, so let's go and check in our spreadsheet, and we can see our spreadsheet has been updated with the LinkedIn post that we've been created, or that our AI agent has created. And that's all looking good. So we just need to repeat the same for LinkedIn, X, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, so I've just duplicated that out for each of the social media platforms here and renamed the modules just to make it clear for us and easy for us which module is creating which social media post. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that we can add all of those now to the spreadsheet. So if I copy that module, paste it 3 times, let's go into here. So this is the X module, so I just need to go into here, and this is the create X post with the result of that. And here is the Facebook post, so I should do that in the Facebook column, result, and last but not least Instagram. Put the Instagram post in there. Okay, so that's created the LinkedIn post. If we go into our spreadsheet, we should see the LinkedIn post has been created here. Should be seeing Twitter coming in now. There you go, there's Twitter. Next up is Facebook. There you go, there's the Facebook post. Again, last but not least is Instagram post. And there it is. Oh, that looks like Twitter to me. Let's just check that we've put the correct one into Instagram here. No, this is why. Be careful here, copy and pasting modules. I forgot that. So that's the Instagram post. Okay, so I've got the columns the wrong way around there, but I'm happy that's kind of working. So that's everything for this automation. So we've now created all the social media posts. We've put them into our spreadsheet and they're ready to review. So now the next step is that we want to be able to approve this social media. And when we do click approve, that it goes ahead and publishes all of our social media posts to Buffer, our social media scheduling tool, to be published at the right time onto our social platforms. So we need to create a new automation, which is essentially a webhook, which is watching for any changes in this spreadsheet. And when it does see any changes, it will then fire the automation. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and create a new automation now. So let's just mark this as not approved for now. And let's go ahead and create a new automation. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is set up a module to watch our Google Sheets. So we do that with the Google Sheets module, and then we do watch changes. There you go. And we're going to create a hook here. So the webhook's going to be social media posts approved. Gosh. Okay. Save that. Okay, so this is the address. So what we're going to need to do before we can get this to work is that we need to install an add-on or an extension in Google Sheets. So if we go into here, we just type in make for Google Sheets, and there you go. So you just go ahead and install this add-on here. So I've already got this one installed, so I don't need to install it anymore. So I'll close that up. Go to extensions, and then make for Google Sheets, and go into settings here. And this will open up a pane here on the right hand side. And here, all we need to do is paste in the webhook address that we created within make. So if I go and paste in my webhook here, click save. Okay, So now any changes that are made in the spreadsheet will be passed to our webhook. So what we're going to do now is query the database. So if you've not watched any videos before this one, the database is what we're using to save state between automations. So in previous videos in this series, we used the database to save the URL of the image that we're going to use both in our blogs and in social media. So we need to go and get the URL of that image so that we can insert it into our blog posts. So to search the database, we just need to use this data store module. I'll do search records, and we're going to search in our database, and we're going to search on the post ID. The post ID is row I. Click OK. And just so you can see what the database looks like, in the database we just have the post ID here, the image URL, and then these hashes. And don't worry about these hashes, it's not relevant for this video or this example. This was used in previous videos in the series for Midjourney. So if you'd like to see more information about those and the full implementation, check out the other videos in our series that are linked below in the description. But otherwise, all we really care about is that we're searching on the post ID so that we can get this image URL for our social media. So once we've got that, let's run that through and just check that that's all working. So in the social media approval sheet, I've just added a few rows so that we can demo this. So if I just mark this one as approved, go back to our automation, you see that's fired. And if we look at the output, we can see we've got the post ID here, and then we've got the image URL. So this is the URL of the image that we want to add to our social media. And this is the next step, just to keep things tidy. We're going to want to try and keep this database as clean as possible. So we can just go ahead and delete the row. We don't no longer need it in our process. So we can go in here and we can kind of say delete a record. And then we can just use the key that we got from the previous module to go ahead and delete that record. That just means that the number of rows are just not going to go on here, exponentially forever. We can actually just delete the row when we've finished using it. Okay, so now that we've got the data that we need, we just need to schedule the posts onto Buffer. So we can use a Buffer module here. So create new status update. We can add that in here. Obviously you need to have a Buffer account, and I'm going to post on LinkedIn first, and the text I'm going to use is from the spreadsheet, and the LinkedIn text, just to check, is row C. Just going to go into row C here and add that in, and not post immediately. I'm going to post post to the end of the queue. Now we want to make sure that we don't post too regularly, too quickly, and that's the reason that we're using Buffer. Buffer allows you to schedule posts to go at different times throughout the day, and you can specify what you want those times to be. If we just use the spreadsheet without using Buffer and just approve a load of posts and send them to the social media platform straight away, that would just be seen as like bot-like behavior, and we don't want to do that anyway. We want to spread our posts out throughout the day, so we want to use something like Buffer to schedule our posts. So in Buffer, essentially you just set the times of the day you want a post to go out, and you just set up a queue, and it just works its way through the queue. So in this case, we're just going to add an update to the end of the queue. So this one's going to get added to the end of the queue, and we're going to click OK. So now I just need to do the same for the other social platforms. Okay, so I've added the modules for each of the various platforms: LinkedIn, X, Facebook and Instagram. So the last thing we want to do is that we just want to give some feedback to the person approving the social media that those actually got sent to Buffer successfully. So in here we're just going to add a date time field so we can show the date and time that these social posts got sent to Buffer. So the way that we do that is we just go ahead again and go Google Sheets, update a row. We're going to find the spreadsheet again. Okay, so sheet 1, the row we're updating is this one, and now we just want to go into the posted column, which is row H. So in here we want to use a function which is called format date. We want to post the time now, but we want to specify it in a particular format, otherwise you end up getting it looking in something like this, which isn't that useful or that helpful. So in here, you can just specify the format that you want, which kind of shows here. So you've got day, day, month, month, year, year, hour, hour, minute, minute. And that should be all we need to add at that stage. So click OK. And that's it. So we just see if that all works as we hope. So I'll go ahead and approve this one. There you go. Instagram's failed there. Of course I forgot to add images to all of the posts. So here you go. I want to do attach media to the update. So the link to the article here, the article title is here, and then the link to the image is this one up here, image URL. We can use that for the thumbnail as well. We click OK. We'll do the same for the other two. Okay, I've finished adding that for all of the social media platforms. Now let's try again. So go ahead and approve this one here. Check back at our automation. Okay, so that all should have worked. So if we check out here, our row's been updated with the date and the time that the we put it in the post ID column. We really wanted it in this column, so we just change that. Here. I think I'm pretty confident that's working now, so let's just run it through again whilst I'm checking buffer, just to show you the post being added there. So if I go ahead and improve this one, whilst we're waiting, I'll head over to buffer. Okay, let's go back to our Google Sheet, let's see if that worked. And there we go. So we now have all of these posts published to buffer, and we've got the date and the time that that was sent to buffer. So I go ahead and check in buffer. And there we go. There's all our posts scheduled into buffer for the different platforms. So that's worked. So we're going ahead and check our database here. I'll just refresh the page. You should see that some of those records now have been deleted. There you go. So we've only got one post in the sheet left, and that's yet to be deleted from the database. And that concludes today's video. To summarize what we covered, today we set up a webhook so that we could be notified from WordPress when a new post was published. When that new post was published, we automatically sent the article to our AI agents so that they could create social media posts to schedule into buffer and ultimately onto our social media platforms. These social media posts were added to a Google Sheet, which allowed some human intervention to edit the posts before publishing them. Once we were happy with the posts, we just needed to select the approved drop-down box in the spreadsheet, and these were automatically scheduled to buffer to be posted on our social media platforms. Finally, we provided some feedback to the approver that the posts have been published by publishing the date and time that those posts have been published into our Google Sheet. Thanks for staying to the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you in the next one. If you're interested in this automation and grabbing hold of the unbelievable opportunity that exists today for AI automators, then I recommend you check out my school community, where you can download this blueprint, many more, and be up and running in a matter of minutes. It's this simple. Navigate to the blueprint you want to download in the school community, go over to make.com and select import blueprint, and you're ready to go. In the school community, we also have automation learning materials and access to a full calendar of events, including masterclasses, Q&As, co-working sessions, and live streams. When it comes to AI automation, if you want to up your game, then this community is for you. Head over to school.com/AI-automations to get started.